Hello everyone, this is Andrew Perkowski checking in again from the fish room. Today's video is going to be about my Zoogoneticus tequila colony. The collection information on these guys is the Rio Teuchitlan or Teuchitlan Springs. They're really only known from one location. Also known as the Tequila Splitfin, this has long been one of my favorite fish. One of my personal goals for keeping this species was to have a nice large colony, just have a wonderful swarm of them. And there are quite a few in this tank. You can see the males over here. They have that ring of color. Originally, when the first tequila was collected, it wasn't even considered to be its own species. Back in 1955, it was considered to be another type of Zoogoneticus, the Zoogoneticus, which I actually don't have. I do have Porapechus, but I've not gotten the Quetzos yet. It wasn't until 43 years later that it was formally described, and that was after it was believed to have gone extinct in the wild. So formally described in 1998, even though Dr. Miller had collected them back in 1955. The Rio Teuchitlan, by the 90s, was basically completely empty of Goodeids. Most of the type locations were completely free of them. Although Zoogoneticus tequila was actually rediscovered in a place. There's a male courting a female. I love that there's so many different sizes. Alright, although, back to what I was saying, although the tequilas were rediscovered in the wild, they were believed to have been extinct again by 2013. But there were recent reintroduction efforts. There have been a few attempts over the years, but the most recent one, that was a joint venture with, I believe, the Chester Zoo and the University of Morelia down in Mexico, has been successful. One of the articles I saw had them being released into El Rincon, which is actually the place where Amica splendens was rediscovered, after it was also considered to be extinct in the wild. So El Rincon basically sounds like the last holdout for many of the Rio Teuchitlan Goodeids. Scyphia francese, which I also have here, is another fish from that same area that has gone extinct, just being maintained in the hobby, which goes to show just how important it is for us to keep these fish, and not just keep them, breed them a little bit and submit for BAP, but to make a commitment to keep them long term, because without concerned hobbyists, many of these creatures would disappear. And I think that would be such a shame. These fish are incredible. There are Siamese algae eaters in here to help maintain some of the diatom issues. This is a relatively new tank, as in I set this 40-gallon breeder up back in May. So it's been going through its own little battles. There's a Cryptocorin undulata. The Goodeids, vary species to species as to what they will mess with plant-wise. The Zoogoneticus tequila, these guys being more of a micro-predator, they don't even pick at algae. So there's a lot of manual removal, which is why I did move some of my Crassicellus oblongus Siamese algae eaters over, which has always been one of my favorite fish. But this video is about Zoogoneticus tequila. I have posted a number of videos about these guys since I got them, including some really cool shots I got of the Tropitania back in, I want to say, November. I love the males of this species. The females have this beautiful gold flecking on their sides. See that along their lateral line? There's a female there. Here's another female. Very dimorphic coloring. As you can see, the male there, it's more of monochromatic to slightly mottled gray that'll turn charcoal black when they get worked up. And then that ring of color on the tail, that's a beautiful shot right there. That ring of color on the tail is something you actually see with quite a few of the Chapelocthini fish, which is the tribe that these guys belong to. So I just wanted to share an update on how these guys are doing. Zoogoneticus tequila, Rio Teuchitlan. Oh my gosh, almost fumbled through that. Almost, right? Just a beautiful fish. If any of you guys are able to acquire them, I highly suggest breeding them and then keeping them, because what's not to love about this fish? They are active, easy to care for. I do have a heater in here, but it's not plugged in at the moment. They breed prolifically when they are young. That does drop off as they get older, so that's something to be mindful of. When they're young, you definitely want to make sure you save as many of the fry as possible. Just a beautiful, beautiful fish. So if you like what I'm doing, hit like and subscribe, and I'll be sure to post more updates in the future. Thanks again for checking out my fish. And once again, thanks to everyone for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. It still blows my mind.